Hi, welcome to this month's episode of the Good Works podcast. Today we're at Camp Cory and we're going to talk all about summer camp and camperships, and stick around until the end when we'll tell you what we're looking forward to. So Sarah, we are at summer camp today.
We are, and I'm so excited to be here.
Is there anything more fun at the very beginning of summer, which today is the actual first day of summer that we happen to be filming this, than heading to camp?
I can't think of a better thing to do with my time today.
So you were a camper once upon a time.
I was. For a number of years, I went to camp. Several different camps, and being back here at Camp Cory, like the smells and the sights and being in the cafeteria,
Yes.
It just brings back all those really cool memories.
And I'm gazing out over here, and unfortunately people watching or listening can't see what we see, but I'm looking at Cayuga Lake, and it is picturesque.
It's gorgeous.
I see some sailboats, and I know down there at the waterfront there are kayaks and paddle boards, and the kids water ski. Water is a huge part of Camp Cory and a lot of people for their camp experience.
Right, so we're here today while the camp counselors are being trained, so there are actually no little kids here.
Right.
But they're doing all the prep work and going through all the lessons and activities so they're ready for all the kids to come.
That's right. We're here, and it's the day, what we call staff week at camp. I was a camp counselor, Day Spring Summer Camp in Florida. A little shout out to my Day Spring days. I think being a camp counselor is a magical time for someone because you're young. You're still a young, college student. So for many people, this is their first kind of real job,
Yeah.
but you get to play all day.
I know, it's a great mix of playing and some real leadership skills and building, so.
I think I use skills that I developed both as a camper and then later as a counselor, even in my job today. Certainly things like event planning, but there's a little bit of an optimism or a can-do spirit, or we're all in this together, or even just the ability to stick with a problem all the way
Right,
through the
right.
end. When you're at summer camp, it's not easy to tag out and go back home.
Right, I was thinking crisis management too.
Oh,
So you get
yes.
some of those campers who
Yes.
are brand new to camping and maybe missing mom and dad a little bit, so you really have to know how to deal with some of those emotions.
And I was reading recently more and more, and you can look this up wherever you like to find information. There are a lot of articles coming out now about how HR departments like to see on someone's resume that they were a camp counselor.
Yeah.
It's something that's considered a highlight. They know that they developed skills there that you couldn't necessarily develop otherwise.
Right, same thing as whether or not you were a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout and how long you were in scouting, all those things come together.
So that's where we step in and we start thinking about philanthropy when it comes to summer camp.
Yeah.
What for many people is considered an extra or a perk, and it is. We understand that summer camp is an opportunity not all kids get,
Right.
but that doesn't have to be the case.
Right.
Do you want to talk a little bit about camperships and
Sure.
maybe the ones that with camperships we have at the Community Foundation?
Sure. So one of the lovely funds that we have at the foundation is the Elmo Royce Fund.
It's a favorite.
It's a favorite of ours for a number of reasons. So Elmo was he was a funeral home owner in Watkins Glen. He was never married, never had children, but he really loved kids. And in his will, he wrote that he wanted to leave a sum of money to help kids in Schuyler County go to summer camp. He wanted to make sure that every child who wanted the opportunity to attend camp could attend camp. That started in 1969 after Elmo's passing, and then some years later, that fund was transferred to the Community Foundation right around 2002, 2003. And so every year, we receive applications from families in Schuyler County who want to send their kids to camp, and we're able to do it.
We are.
So 10, 15, 20, depending on the year, we send that many kids to camp.
And that's something we want other people in the community to think about, because sometimes people want to start a scholarship and they think about college first.
Right.
And with the rising cost of college, that's important. I would never want to
Right,
discourage someone from starting a college scholarship. But they think, I think I can afford to give $500 a year, $1,000 a year, even $250 a year.
Right.
And that's not going to make much of a dent in a tuition bill.
Right.
But what we can say is you can send a kid to summer camp and they're going to develop so many skills, and it might lead to a lifelong love of the outdoors for them. It might be some of that resume building we were just talking about, but you could really help a child that might otherwise never have that experience become a camper, and that will impact their life and set them right on that course toward college, which is something we want for them.
Right. And we see not all, but some of the kids who apply for Camperships, these are kids who really need that kind of an experience. They may not come from a home life that's, exactly the way we would hope it would be. So for some of these kids, it gives them an escape and to participate in something that they would never have been able to before.
We can give them the summer that we want every child to have.
Exactly. The summers that we had.
The summers that we were really fortunate to have.
Yep.
Well, Sarah, with that in mind, summer's starting today, and I know a lot happens in the Finger Lakes in the summer. What are you looking forward to?
Well, I love summertime in the Finger Lakes, and we've talked about this before. It's one of our favorite times of year here. But as a mom of an 8-year-old boy who is all about baseball, my summer is lined up with baseball tournaments, and we'll eventually make our way to the Little League World Series. So with some camps mixed in there too for him. So,
that's really cool. Yeah. Aiden's a lucky kid.
I'm very lucky.
You're a lucky baseball mom.
I'm a lucky mom.
Lucky baseball mom. Well, I'm not going to talk about Broadway this time, though I have some tickets to some Broadway shows. I'm not going to talk about that. I am looking forward to the fact that Planned Parenthood is going to be celebrating its centennial starting in October.
Yeah.
And our local affiliate, Planned Parenthood of the Southern Finger Lakes, has a year of activities ready to go. But they're going to tease us with some appetizers this summer, and on July 14th, there will be a pub crawl in Corning. So those of you that like pubs, like Planned Parenthood, like to crawl, like to be out in the summer, please check that out. The 3 businesses involved are Hand and Foot, The Cellar, and Volo. Not hard to find information about that event as it comes up, and I hope to see some of our podcast viewers and listeners out enjoying summertime on Market Street. So, Sarah, we're going to go take a little walk around Camp Cory before we head back to the real world, right?
I'm excited.
I know, I'm excited too. So thank you all so much for either tuning in or listening to the Community Foundation Good Works podcast. We will see you or we'll talk with you next month.